Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 31 Questions for Blue Dragon 5 podcast. You've endured the daily grind of me answering questions from Blue Dragon 5 for 31 days now, and we're going to end it off with me asking him 31 questions.
And my live reactions.
Yes.
Well, somewhat live, I guess.
Yeah. Now, some of these might be a bit personal. Some of these might be a bit less so personal. And I just want to say right off the bat, sorry about the last day of Blue Dragon 5 month, me uploading massive amount of stuff due to technical difficulties and me forgetting my power pack when I went away, so oops, sorry. But anyway, hello Blue Dragon 5. How have you enjoyed this month dedicated to you and all your the commentaries, me answering the questions? How have you enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed it very much so. The commentaries have been a blast. You know, anytime I can join in on a discussion on Pixar, I'm happy. The only problem I have with the videos for Blue Dragon 5 is they're not long enough. I want more.
Well, we might get around to doing some more stuff with you, especially now that we're going to be doing the wonderful show of the CFG. That's the Confidential Fan Guild guys. That pilot episode should be up very soon. I'm hoping to have that up August the 1st to kick off my month. I'm hoping to have it up before before my live show in a few days. So yeah.
Yep.
Anyway. So you've enjoyed it, and you just wish it could have continued.
Yeah, either that or nothing against you, man. But I like the answers I got. I'm just saying, if you could do them next time for your Q&A months, make the response a little longer, because those are great. I like the response. Just wish it kind of, I don't know.
Well, I really did try and get as much detail out as possible. And sometimes some of those questions were quite simple to answer, and I just wanted to do it as just my gut reaction out of them and try and think of something. Admittedly, I didn't want to talk everyone's ear off with them. But
fair enough.
Anyway.
But I liked them. Nonetheless, I really liked them.
Okay. Should I get started and just ask you the first question?
Yeah, just read off the questions to our nice viewing audience here, and yeah.
Well, we'll go one by one, just so they don't get lost. The first question is a relatively simple one. Favorite show growing up? So what was your favorite show growing up?
My favorite show growing up was Batman, the animated series, and also, as a Sir one Freakazoid, but Batman the animated series all the way. Okay.
That's a pretty... Both of those are really good answers. I have not seen Freakazoid. It is on my list of numerous TV shows to see, so, yeah.
I highly recommend it. That and Batman the Animated Series really defined my childhood and defined who I am.
Yeah, as did most of us who were growing up in the 90s, and especially those of us who were kids at the time.
And we lived through a golden era, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least as far as television goes.
Yeah. Not anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was pretty simple. Number 2, favorite band. So what's your favorite band, Blue Dragon 5?
Well, to be honest, I'm not much of a band guy. I'm more I like the classics stuff. Really like a lot of soundtracks, but also the classics like Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra. I guess for a band, I guess the Rat Pack, with Dean Martin and Sinatra on the same team, basically, same band. I guess that'd be it because I'm not really much of a band guy, but yeah.
Mm. Okay, fair enough. My favorite band flips and changes all the time.
So Flips changes all the time as your band?
Yeah, no. It
I'm
just
sorry, there are some funky names like that out there.
well, my taste in music often changes.
Fair enough.
Okay, question 3: worst TV show you've ever watched?
Well, the thing about that is, if it's worse, why would I watch it? But I mean, I remember shows that really nowadays that really tick me off. Like I've watched a few episodes of it and just really, really gets under my skin. The show that I can instantly say literally physically makes me mad whenever I'm not even watching. It's like I'm doing stuff and it's like it's on TV. Just like I don't change the channel instantly. It's like while it's on, and it's just like really, really ticks me off. It's Planet Sheen. I hate with a burning passion Planet Sheen. But also Ultimate Spider-Man kind of makes me sad watching because it's disappointing. Except for the one good episode of it, which is the Ultimate Deadpool. That's the only good episode of Ultimate Spider-Man. It's a crime because Paul Dini works on that show.
Oh.
So sorry, yeah, but Planet Sheen really does what it does piss me off whenever I watch it.
Okay, this is an interesting one. What movie do you never want to see again, and why?
Oh boy, never want. Well, there are a lot of really bad movies out there. There are. I guess the thing is, given what we've been discussing behind the scenes, I might have to watch some of these again. But I would say Shrek 3 is a film I really do try to avoid. Shrek 3, Cat in the Hat, and Son of the Mask. Those are big. Those are 3 biggies. Batman and Robin, you can only watch it on mute, really. That's the only way it's really tolerable. Unless it's being made fun of, I can't stomach it, you know? I might watch it for the commentary once in a blue moon, just to hear the apology of Schumacher to appease me. But really, yeah, that and like just the one visual image that's not terrible in that film is like, Nora Freeze in the tank. And Schwarzenegger's makeup job isn't bad for Freeze. Just the makeup job, not the suit. The suit looks stupid. But, yeah, pretty. Also, well, it's Michael Gough, right? Just make sure I get that last name right there. Michael Gough is Alfred. He's good in that film.
Yeah.
But yeah, in a nutshell, there's those films, like, I technically do watch them again, but the real ones I don't enjoy watching. I try not to seek out Shrek 3 by any means, however.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. This is an interesting one. What show did you miss and still want to see?
Do you mean like a show that was canceled prematurely, or?
No, I mean like a show that you were like, man, I wish I'd watched that, and you just haven't got around to seeing it.
Huh. Well, in that case, well, you know what? It's not that I really regret. Not really regret. I mean, I can live with it. I never got on board with Doctor Who. But it's nothing against Doctor Who. It's just it looks neat, and like the little clips of David Tennant I've seen. Yeah, it's not bad. It looks unique. That's a modern example. I guess like NCIS maybe might be another one. Because I like this character. I like the actor who portrays this character called Ducky, who was I know him best for being Alfred in Gotham Knights. It's not Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., but it's David. David McCullum. David McCullum. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Best known for his role in Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that and really just that kind of thing. I might like that show if I got into it. There are a few shows. But I mean, that's really it. Doctor Who again doesn't look like a bad show at all. Just I'm into too much right now. Like the new seasons of TV shows are about to happen soon. I'm gonna have to budget my time to watch all.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
I got Arrow. I got Hannibal. I got Bates Motel. I got plus the new Shield show.
Anyway, of course, you got Beware the Batman, which we're doing discussion videos on. I've just put up the two.
It's Saturday morning, so it doesn't coalesce anything. But indeed, sir.
But yeah, okay, Doctor Who's a good answer, and that would have been on my list up until recently as
But
well.
but NCIS, and I haven't watched Firefly, but actually I think I'm going to change my answer to Firefly because I hear great things about that, or Buffy.
Oh,
Buffy or Firefly, because I've seen
well,
like a few episodes of Buffy.
well, you can. I tell you what, check out Firefly because there's only like 13 episodes of that, and then watch the movie Serenity because you can watch the movie Serenity really without missing too much from Firefly, but I do recommend you watch Firefly first because I've recently done that myself. It didn't take me long at all. I really enjoyed Firefly. And I'm thinking of doing something on that sometime soon as well. I don't know when. I don't know how, but I will do something.
Okay.
You ready for the next question? Question number 6.
Sure.
How old does something have to be before you personally regard it as a classic?
Now that's an interesting question because I don't think necessarily something has to be old to be considered a classic. Because think about it, Dark Knight came out, it was instantly a classic. There are some instant classics out there, and really, take Toy Story. Toy Story, I know with every fiber of my being, it's a classic. Okay? Yeah, when it came out, it felt that way, but really, it was regarded as a classic, officially regarded as a classic like 10 years from then, and especially 20 years from that. Like, technically, I think the actual wait time might be 30 years, because Star Wars was on the registry for a while. I was like the AFI, National Film Registry and stuff. I forget the exact times and dates, but it's interesting. I just think there are instant classics out there, so it's not really, you can't really measure it by how many years it comes in. Sometimes it just has it or it doesn't. Like Taken, one could argue maybe Taken is kind of in the realm of action movies. It's like an action movie with like a heart to it. It's a modern thing. It's not like a major classic, but it's recognizable. But then you have films like, Citizen Kane, which is obviously a classic because it came out so long ago. It's in black and white. You get Maltese Falcon, which does feel like a classic because it just has that. You can tell by the ending of Falcon, just that whole, the stuff the dreams are made of. It lasts. Like some of those, there's just that quality. It's hard to describe or hard to measure, but I can't, in all good conscience, measure it with time. I say it's in classics like Toy Story or, Dark Knight. Sorry, yeah. And Superman, 78, the Superman 1978.
So your answer is pretty much it doesn't matter how old it is, but you can regard something as an instant classic.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a good answer. I just put that was something I was thinking about at the time when I wrote that down. Okay. Here we go. Number 7. This is a kind of a personal question. But I think it's good, and I'm sure it's something Milan would have asked. Would ask someone in his interviews if they were willing to answer it. Of course. Here it is. Have you ever been drunk? If so, tell us the story.
All right. I'll tell you all what happened. About 10 minutes before this recording, I downed a whole bottle of whiskey. And I just stumbled on in here. I turned on the computer and I called up Magpie. No, seriously. I'm just joking. I'm drunk right now, folks. But no, not seriously. Seriously, I don't drink. No, I haven't had any drunk. So sorry, no fun stories to tell. But I've been physically exhausted to the point where I've staggered. That's about it.
Okay, that's fair enough. So here we go. That's all right because I've only been drunk once and it was not fun. Well, actually, I'm Australian, so technically I've been tipsy before. So yeah, and sorry guys, but the best of those stories has never been told. Okay,
Greatest story never drunk.
What? Okay, number 8. What did you do for your 21st, or what will you do for your 21st? Because I'm not 100% sure how old you are, so I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Same thing I do every year, Magpie. Go to Atlantic City.
Oh, Atlantic City.
Yep, it's a yearly occurrence, and we'll have it on the 21st.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay. Here we go. Number 9. This is a little less personal. It's just, what are some of your guilty pleasures?
Well, in line of guilty pleasures, let's see. I think I can narrow it down to 3. I mean, I like some kind of regard as bad movies. In addition to me being a little positive, I kind of cut bad movies like in that I find like a positive aspect. But however, there are some bad films that just defy that. So, fortunately, it's not always the case. Like Inspector Gadget, like I cut Inspector Gadget some slack. You know, that one's a guilty pleasure film, for instance. You know. For me, you know, I like the gadgets. You know, back then I had like this, it had some nostalgia tied to it. I even got like on my desk, well, one of my dresser somewhere, like this. I haven't found a good place for it. The McDonald's Inspector Gadget. You know, you get a little Happy Meal piece and you construct the Inspector Gadget. I still got that somewhere. So you know, I cut it some slack. Also,
Okay.
my guilty pleasures. You know, I kind of dabble in the True TV. Some of their reality programming. I'm not saying it's good. It's just I dabble in it. You know, seeing a human interaction, even though it's mostly scripted.
Mm.
You know, if it's not, it's like it's really convenient if it's not scripted. Okay. I've heard people say, you know, it's all fake. Saying, well, if it's not fake, well, if it isn't, it's really convenient. Like this sounds like a really well plotted story if it is. But you know, the third one, you know, I've read a few romance mangas, mangas.
Mm.
You know, it's romantic in me, I guess.
Sorry, what was the second one again?
Oh, second one? Oh,
Yeah.
you know, some reality TV shows on True TV. I've dabbled in, not all worked up. That Lizard Lick Towing show, the Hardcore Pawn. But it's funny because I mentioned my first one with like shows like Hardcore Pawn or like you know the Chicago Hardcore, you know, the pawn store stuff, that sort of stuff, or Toy Hunter. Toy Hunter is actually good. The point is, like, I'm like the one saying I'm not looking for all like the only people in Detroit aspect of it that like a lot of people really watch the show for. I want to say, oh, hey, look at these cool items come in. I'm making deals. Like, cut the guy a deal. Give him a good deal. That's what I'm saying. I'm the one positive person watching that show. So, yeah, let's see some good deals. Not like, you know, bleep you, up you, bleep and bleep, that sort of stuff. It's not me. But
all
yeah,
right.
in a nutshell, that's it.
Here's a tough one for you. Who is the greatest detective, Sherlock Holmes or Batman?
Is that sarcasm, Magpie?
No, I'm serious. Because
Batman.
really, I would actually.
Wrong. Sherlock Holmes is good. He is good. I'm not taking that away from just instantly saying, "Oh, I love Batman." I like Batman. I do, but still, I've seen some Sherlock Holmes stuff. I do like Holmes is a detective, good skills, but I think Batman has like a lot of training. He's been around the world. He's picked up a lot of extra skills. Don't get me wrong, Holmes, yeah, he's a good lockpick. He has a lot of hobbies. Can play musical instruments. But you know, Batman can do all that stuff too, and plus he's more than the books. He's fighting a little more. But you know, and that's not saying that makes him a better detective. I think Batman's kind of had to deal with a lot more craziness than Holmes has. I would say. So I think that kind of makes Batman the better detective. Again, not just instantly, I love Batman, so he's better than Sherlock Holmes, but yeah, he kind of is.
All right. I got a side question for you. Have you seen the show Sherlock yet?
That actually, thank you for reminding me. As I was going to bring something else up, I was going to say, yeah, I've heard great things about Sherlock, and that was going to be like one of my other answers for number 5. I feel bad that I haven't seen Sherlock. Because it's just not on. That's the only reason I haven't checked it out, because I hear such glowing recommendation.
Pick up the DVD, you won't regret it.
I'll take that advice. But I think I'm into enough Sherlock right now, Sherlock Holmes stuff right now, because I got Elementary coming on TV. I love that show. Also, the Robert Downey Jr. films.
Okay.
You know, a great mouse detective also. I'm just saying.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to get tied down to too much, you know. It's like, again, it's too much these days, too much good stuff. I'm complaining about good stuff.
Well, okay, here we go. This is another bad one. Worst episode or... I've added this caveat to it. Worst episode or episodes of Smallville?
Well, here's the thing about the Smallville episodes, because I remember those questions. The thing about Smallville is that each episode, I would say, for the most part, they at least have like a redeeming factor about them, you know? You can forgive something. However, there are some bad ones. I can't remember all the titles, so you might have to help me out with some of these. I'm just going to name some examples. Like, I can name moments I really hate. But like, the episode has a redeeming quality. But yeah, watch Canon Crypto Freaks. That'll tell you itself. Like, there's something redeeming about this episode, at least.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, some aspects. I remember this one. I think it's called Committed. Like Lois Lane and Clark Kent are like strapped to some sort of game show chair.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I feel it was a waste of talent for that episode with Amy Adams. She plays like this chill.
Oh, yeah, that one I thought was really good, and even Cap, I think gave that one a pretty good rating.
Well, I mean, it's good performance, and the subplots. You guys think the overall plot with the cheerleaders not too crazy about it.
Okay.
But you know, it's overall. I remember the one thing small that I really hated. I hated the fact they brought in Jimmy Olsen in that episode Doomsday. Again, I can't count out the episodes completely, except maybe, like, I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen Smallville for a good reason. You know, I've been thinking about, like, rewatching it from scratch, but then again, I just remember, all the stuff later on, so I'm not going to do that.
Well, let me say this, guys, I've got the whole collection on DVD, and I'm having trouble getting through season 9. I keep stopping and starting with that, and it's like, I don't care anymore.
Because again, even with there are probably some episodes in season 9. I just can't remember them because I try to block them from my mind. So again, just some of these episodes, I'm just remembering some really bad stuff in the episodes. Like again, the death of Jimmy Olsen in Doomsday, I really hated, and just the fact that it's a horrible idea bringing Jimmy Olsen in, or just write it off by giving it to like, Olsen Jr. And just the bringing in of Lois Lane, a lot of stuff that I don't like. But yeah, in a nutshell, there's a lot of bad individual moments, really, than just really overall terrible episodes. But then again, block a lot of season 9 from my mind. So take that for what you will, folks.
Okay, best episode of Smallville.
That's an easy one. I know right off the back of my hand, I know what my favorite episode is. I'm correct. I hope I get this name right, because again, I just know what's in the episode more than I know the title. Is it Rosetta, the one with Christopher Reeve?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I
don't do episode title of Smallville.
I
do it
for season 2. I think it's 18, if I'm right. It could be 18 or 20, from 18 to 20. Yeah, episode number. But Christopher Reeve plays Dr. Virgil Swan, and boy, that episode just is my instant favorite.
Yeah.
It is kind of just because Christopher Reeve's in it, but still, just the performance, and it's that moment in Smallville you're kind of waiting for. He's finding out who he is, like where he's from. He's learning a little bit about his civilization, you know? Learning a little bit about Krypton, learning where he's from. It's something we can all kind of relate to in some ways, just kind of a self-discovery about family or self-discovery about yourself. And the way the interaction between Tom Welling and especially Christopher Reeve, even after the incident, he gave some of his best performances. And it's just really, really impressive. And I love it, and it has such emotional resonance. It's like the passing of the torch, as they put it themselves on the show, and still, it's resonant.
All right.
It's a favorite.
Here we go. And quite appropriately, question 13. Scariest thing that has happened to you?
Well, I'm not going to go into immense detail with this. I'm just going to leave it that I had an unpleasant experience at a patient's first clinic.
Ooh.
And no, it wasn't a prostate exam. Okay, it wasn't anything like that. It was just I'm not too comfortable with medical stuff. So I not exactly a real. I don't fear the doctors themselves. It's just like the hospitals and medical stuff just kind of makes me uneasy, and just an event that happened there really made me uneasy.
Ooh.
So kind of compile on that uneasiness. Like the eye doctor is like the middle. The dentist, I'm most comfortable at the dentist because I have good teeth. It's probably out of fear I have good teeth because again, doctors and medical stuff. It's just I take care of my teeth, so I have nothing to worry about the dentist, and hopefully that stays true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Here we go. Something a little bit more positive. Dream celebrity date.
Oh boy, I tell you, I still can't think of a good answer for this. I was naming a bunch of really. There are tons of beautiful women, especially in Hollywood. A lot of beautiful women. A lot of nice women too. That's a good quality you want to have. Nice, but also pretty. Maybe Emma Stone, because Emma Stone I feel like I could have like a good conversation with her. Like she seems to be into like Spider-Man comics. She's in Spider-Man, for example. I just want someone I can talk to on that date. Zoe Deschanel, she's a knockout. To be honest with you, she is.
And I just watched something with her in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of like the girls who are just cute, nice, and a little funny, but also kind of open-minded for some stuff. Like Mila Kunis, she's a fangirl at heart, for instance. But also there are some voice actresses out there like Grey DeLisle. Grey DeLisle. I've fallen in love with the voice of Nicole Sullivan from Kim Possible. Like maybe like Kirstie Carlson Romano. She did the voice of Kim Possible. I would like to talk to her for like just meeting her for like a dinner, just talking over like her career and stuff. Like what she's, how was it doing the voice, stuff like that. Like same thing with Grey DeLisle. And you can see on like the Fat Man on Batman thing with Kevin Smith. He's talking to these voice actresses and voice actors. It's just really fun conversation. So that would be fun. So yeah, I could imagine. Or Dana Delaney. Oh, Dana Delaney. Dana Delaney or Grey DeLisle. Those two. And of course the female equivalent to one of my idols. Rachel McFarlane. Oh,
I've seen pictures of her. Yeah,
exactly. It's just voice actresses. They don't get enough credit because they are beautiful as they are sultry in the voice. Sultry and wonderful and versatile in the voice. Like Tara Strong, she can do like 10 billion voices. So can Cree Summer. But still, I guess if I had to narrow it down, maybe Emma Stone, like Emma Stone or Grey DeLisle. I maybe. Between those two, but I'm going to say, I guess my default answer is Emma Stone because I'm loving her more and more I see her. Especially in Spider-Man.
All right. You're exiled to a desert island, and you can only take one TV show, one movie, and one woman with you. Who and what do you take?
Okay, let's see. TV show, it's going to be Batman the Animated Series. Movie, Toy Story. Woman, here's my question about the woman. If this is a desert island, I'm going to want to be alone. If it's a deserted, like, island paradise, it's not bad. It's just your solo. And it's like you're
well, let's change it. Like usually it's referred to as a desert island. Let's make it a tropical island, and there's no chance of you getting rescued.
I mean like a resort island is what I'm saying. But still be deserted. I'm saying there's really air conditioned hut. Is what I'm saying.
Something like that. Yeah.
If it's like that, then I'll have a woman with me. But if it's like a desert, I don't want to put anyone else through that. I don't want to either watch someone suffer or die or nag me. Nothing against women. That's for anyone. I wouldn't want anyone else on me if that was the case. Plus, deserted, nice, tropical, pleasant island. Again, it might. To be honest, it might be the girl from That Guy with the Glasses, Rachel. It might. Oh my God, she is either her or maybe her or Emma Stone, maybe. But still, the girl from That Guy with the Glasses, Rachel. She's a knock. I forget if her actual name is Rachel because I think that was her character's name, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I think we know which one you're talking about. The one that was in a recent episode of the.
Yeah, the Uncanny Valley. She was in Dragonborn. She was the wife.
Yeah.
Dragonborn. Fiance. But anyway, forgive me. So, dear, forgive me for not remembering your name. It's nothing personal. It's just I have so many names I remember. I'm sorry. But yeah. I just know you for the character name, I guess. But yeah, she's wonderful. She seems funny. She's gorgeous. And she seems smart. So she has a sense for comedy. She does. She seems pleasant. Just seems pleasant. That's always good qualities in women. But yeah. But remember, just in case you're curious, anyone or Magpie, my philosophy of women is that all the good ones are taken. All the good women are taken. So you see a nice girl walking down the street. One of two things. One, in the head, she's not right. Two, she's taken. If you see an actual genuine, oh, this girl looks so cute. What is she doing walking by herself? She's walking around the corner to meet a boyfriend. Just assume that. Yeah, all the good women are taken. It's so hard to meet someone in these societies today, and unless you have to change yourself, which I'm not compromising in that. You shouldn't have to compromise in who you are to meet somebody. But yeah, enough on my soapbox. I'm getting off this soapbox now. We can move on to the next question.
Okay, well, this is kind of a good segue. Worst date, no names needed.
Luckily, I haven't had a worse date, just a date that didn't really go my way.
Well, that's still good.
I guess the worst moment, I mean, kind of like, it wasn't even a worst moment, so like nothing negative, it was just kind of, just simple thing, just go to a movie and like have dinner. Well, either dinner or like a lunch, it's so, basically it was just going to a movie for both. And the one negative moment that happened, that was just really kind of, I was crestfallen after this happened. It was like, I kind of realized, oh. So I was on the date, I was with a girl seeing Ted, the film Ted.
Oh.
Okay. No, that's not the negative moment. She liked Ted. The moment was like afterwards, or like in the Barnes and Nobles or whatever, and like her friends come by, apparently. Ooh, friends at this moment. And they walk over, and like one of them says, like, "Is this your boyfriend or something?" She says no, and like, oh.
Oh, yeah, that was the moment you realized, oh no,
I'm
not going
I'm just
anywhere.
here to see a movie.
Oh.
Luckily, I didn't do anything compromising, so it was just an outing with an acquaintance, really.
Oh.
But the other time,
ouch.
Still I enjoyed the movie, so again, not a bad date. I saw a movie with someone who's still a friend. No problem there, really. But yeah, the other one was I went to dinner with somebody, and it was just nice dinner. Nothing gave it, it was polite. There's really just nothing really panned out in the long run, and still that one's not completely buried yet, but it's pretty much buried though. So like the bone sticking out of the dirt of this paleontological dig, but no one's gonna find it. If so, a dog's gonna find it. No one's gonna care.
Okay. Here we go. Question 17. So we're past the halfway point, and we're coming up at the end of these questions, but still got quite a few left to go. So, which great creative mind would you want to interview?
It's either one of my two idols. It's either John Lasseter or Seth MacFarlane, but I'm going to say John Lasseter.
Okay, good. As I was actually at a thing with one of the producers of Family Guy, and he was really nice. So
Was it David A. Goodman or Danny Smith?
It's the guy that does the. Now you'll probably know this guy.
John Viner.
No, hang on. Let me describe the guy. The guy who did the voice for Inflatable Flailing Hand and
that's Danny,
Man.
That's Danny Smith. Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he was really awesome. And so yeah, and he came down for Supernova, and I got to see him, and I was so stoked. Got to see some stuff which was already up, of course, for the latest season of Family Guy. So
okay,
yeah, it's awesome. Here we go. What is the one question? Oh, this is 18. What is the one question you would like to ask Kevin Smith?
Oh boy, it's funny. I might actually meet Kevin Smith soon.
Ooh.
I might actually do that, but I'm kind of thinking of a good question. I'm still thinking over, so this might change. But I know one thing. First man I meet, I'm gonna thank him for Batman on Batman. So,
okay.
I love that show. I'm just trying to think. Actually, I'm thinking of a question right now on the spot, so forgive the pause, folks.
Yeah.
One question, I guess, would be, I guess I might ask him, like, what, I'm trying to think if it's Batman related or not. I guess I might ask him, like, how does it feel to, be, like, what's your writing process when you're tackling these characters of Batman when you're doing your films? How do you tackle writing characters and writing scripts outside of getting stoned?
You know what? The one question I would love to ask him is, but I'm sure he's probably answered
Like,
this
what's your
numerous
creative process, I guess, and also how do you make Silent Bob so awesome?
My question to Kevin Smith would because he's never actually answered this. I know he's great friends with Ben Affleck, but I'd be like, how did you become friends with Ben Affleck? It's a relatively simple question, but I have looked through all his Q&As and everything. I know they're friends. I just don't know how they've actually met. And
well, they're Jersey boys, Magpie.
yeah, I know, but it's something I'd love him to answer.
Not Jersey Girl. That's a movie.
Yeah.
Well, I think they might have lived in the same neighborhood, but I can't prove that by facts. I mean, yeah, that's a good question, Magpie. It's a good question. He's probably gonna answer in like, "Oh, he blew me behind the dumpster" or something. I
don't know. Okay. Because that would be what Kevin Smith says. Okay, to change gears here for a minute.
Yes.
This is a question in the style of one of the numerous questions you've asked me.
It's a thinker.
Yeah. It is Bizarro World. Who hosts? Who reviews the reviewers?
Now, here's the thing. Do you mean the actual Bizarro World, or do you mean like the opposites of each of the judges?
I mean, it is a strange mirror universe. So, who would host? Who reviews the reviewers?
Well,
who would be the judges? Is sort of like I'm asking. It's a parallel world. It's strange. So, who would?
Well,
who would it be?
I think I might answer both, but if it's just like the mirror dimension, it's like the opposites of these people. I guess it would be. I know Manos' opposite would be Dan DiDio. Caps would probably, the Dan DiDio, the head of DC Comics, the guy who had the bright idea of the New 52.
Okay.
I guess for Cap it'd be Dooms Vince.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dooms Vince. Trying to. Let me see. Oh yeah, it'd just be Dan with a. It'd be Dan with the symbiote. Let's see how many. I know the judges. I mean, I know there's Mistar Fusion, but I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. Oh, well, Vince.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, you know what? It would be Captain Logan would be his own character in the background. And Dooms Vince would be Cap.
Okay.
So Cap would be reverse Cap, like Reverse Flash.
Okay.
So actually, he'd either be that or be Private.
Private
Logan.
Yeah.
So let's see. Just let me go through these before I get into my Bizarros.
You forgot Mr. Fusion.
I know. I'm just making sure I got everyone else. Okay, so
Manos.
I got Dooms Vince. I got Dan DiDio as Manos. I got Reverse Private Logan.
Yeah.
I got Dan with a symbiote, and for Fusion, I'm trying to think for Fusion, it would be someone who's really in. Actually, I think Fusion might be me, but no. No, seriously. I was going to say like someone who's really into American animation, other than anime. But let me think. I kind of want to. I almost want to say Milan.
Yeah.
Milan. I almost want to say that, but I'm just going to say it would probably just be a fusion that's just really into like classic American animation. Like he'd be like the guy who's like has zoetropes in his room. He'd be kind of like the ideal version. This guy, he would idolize, the Walt Disney style. So he'd be similar to me in a way, but he'd just be a fusion that's like not in the anime at all. He's in like the opposite of anime, which I'm assuming would be kind of, I guess, the American animation style, and be like classic American, like Filmation. This guy would be like uber Filmation, like not even the good animation, just like the Scooby-Doo style, they slide and the mouths are moving, that sort of stuff. The Hanna-Barbera Filmation style would be his.
Right.
But also, just real briefly, the Bizarro. If it was like the actual Bizarro world, it'd be basically Dan would be. I'm sorry. So actually Dan would be Venom. He'd be Eddie Brock. Sorry, but like Bizarro would just be like Dan, like everyone would have like white skin, the chiseled face, and it'd be like Dan would have like wear a symbiote shirt on. The Fusion would be all about the present, living in the present, not living in the past or the future. And the Captain Logan would hate Spawn. You'd hate Spawn. Vince would be completely serious, not ridiculous in the slightest. Also, Captain Logan would talk like I'm not trying to be insulting here, but I mean like kind of like the typical like a hillbilly. Again, I know he's from like a kind of a southern area of sorts, but I mean like completely the opposite. Like Captain Logan, he wouldn't present himself nicely. It would be like kind of that grandfatherly, like Walt Disney style type of review. It would be more like I like this movie. That's it. Oh, this guy was stupid. I hated this guy. He kind of like the, I believe they're called, and again, I'm not too savvy on internet terms, but I think it's like a troll, is it?
Yeah.
He kind of like one of those guys, kind of like I hate, Kim Kardashian, yeah! That sort of stuff. Completely unrefined Captain Logan. That'd be Bizarro Captain Logan, and he would talk like Bizarro. He would talk like Bizarro, me am General Logan. me and Captain James. Like reverse now. Like James Captain. Me like Kirk better than Picard. And stuff like that. Let me see. Manos. Manos would love current movies, and Rises would be his favorite. Would be his definitive Batman. Actually, no, I'm sorry, not Rises. Schumacher would be his definitive Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Manos would love Schumacher. He would be all about current movies also. He'd be the poster boy for DC's New 52. Just, me love Dan DiDio. It'd be like, Lindsay, like, instead of push button, Lindsay, flip the switch. That sort of, or like Lindsay, turn off button, turn on button, stuff like that. I don't know. Instead of Red Knight, it'd be Black Knight. I don't know, like red or blue. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the opposite of red. White Knight. I don't know, something like that. I think I mentioned everyone, didn't I?
Yeah, you forgot Fusion.
No, I thought I said Fusion, no. Fusion will live in the present.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I think that's about it for the Bizarro, but I also went into the opposite versions.
Let me tell you who I would see in a Bizarro world, because I always thought it would be Sid Part 2 would be the host. Milan would be
Dan?
Milan would probably be in Vince's spot.
Zanzibar would be Dan.
Zanzibar would probably be Dan.
Who would be Manos?
You would be. I would be in Fusion's spot. And you would be in the.
I'd be Manos.
Other. Yeah, you'd probably be Manos.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense because we're both kind of like old men.
Mm.
We're young old men.
Yeah.
In a way.
Okay.
But not to deride on Manos' age. It's his business alone. Not to derogate on how old this chap is. In the slightest, not at all. I'm just kidding, Manos, if you're listening, but you probably aren't. But if you are.
Okay, well, let's get on to the next one.
Yes.
Best gift.
I've been privileged, and I have awesome gifts. It's almost impossible to choose. Like, I remember, for Christmas, I got a lightsaber. I got, the $100, Darth Vader interactive lightsaber, which nowadays they're putting out for cheaper. But, back then it was an accomplishment. I remember, for best gifts, I got in 1 year, because I got the PlayStation 3 and Arkham Asylum.
Mm.
So that was good. I remember as a kid, one of my favorite gifts was I asked Santa for this. It was the Monsters Inc. playset.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, the Monsters Inc. The door playset. Like the end of Monsters Inc. They're all going through all the doors and all the huge door storage warehouse. That was the little playset. That was always fun. I remember the Dragon Ball Z playset. That was also fun. like the world's martial arts tournament. And sorry, I'm just going through like really good gifts. I think I'm about done here. Like last year, I got like this Deadpool hoodie. It was really kind of cool. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh yeah. For Easter, I got RC. I got the Toy Story Collection Interactive RC, remote control, the RC car, which is really neat. I didn't expect it, and there are probably more, and they're probably really awesome. I just can't remember at this moment, but I think those would be it. I guess out of all of them, I guess maybe that Christmas with the Arkham game, because the Arkham game really surprised me how great it was. I mean, not surprised. I was really happy with it. So maybe that, or maybe Monsters Inc. playset. So one of those two.
My mum gave me a PlayStation 1 year to replace my broken one. So yeah. That would probably be it. With that would be me thinking off the top of my head. But I've gotten some pretty great gifts along the way too. But I've asked the best, so I've got to ask the worst.
Oh wait, one last thing for best.
Yeah.
I don't remember if this might have been birthday or it might have been Christmas, but I remember that actually I have it on my shelf right now. That's why I'm saying it. Like this Buzz Lightyear spaceship, because I remember how cool Buzz Lightyear's box was for a spaceship. There's like this little movable one, like can transform into a spaceship with like sound effects on it. You can put Buzz and Woody in there if you wanted to. It's really cool. Like you can fire a disc. Yeah, but it's fun. It's like I love the design of that ship and just the fact I have that ship like mounted somewhere on my shelf. Really nice. Sorry, just go ahead with the next question. Sorry, 21.
Yeah, worst gift. So yeah, I can.
Yeah. Worst gift. Thankfully, I haven't really had any worst gifts. The worst thing that really happens with me gift-wise is I get something I have already. Like, usually it's a repeat shirt or, like, maybe a movie I have already. It's really just return it. So basically that's the worst gift stuff, and I kind of have that weird moment of, like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not to be mean. It's like, I do appreciate you went into this, but it's like my mother, she always says, do you have it already? Yeah.
Well, I want to say this one. My grandfather gave me a lot of good stuff, but he gave me a losing lottery ticket, so that's probably the worst thing that I've gotten. But yeah, and plus, if it had won, he would have gotten the announcement anyway because he put it on his special card thing that he has. So sucks. But yeah, all right. So we've just passed the 10 mark, so there's about 9 more to go. But this is another one in that style that you ask questions. Now, let me clarify this. This is not Sid Part 2's next movie. It's the movie after that. So you've got free reign to do it. Me, that's myself, Magpie, and Milan are in Sid Part 2's next, in his next movie, which is not the time travel one that he's planning.
So you're not the multiverse one, but another one?
Yeah, another one.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming that's already cast. So so that movie, what happens? So me and Milan are in one of Sid Part 2's movies that he's done after the next one. What happens?
Well, you guys are probably like a cameo just to show what's happening in Australia. Like
really?
Maybe it'll be like on the radio. You hear like the apocalypse is happening in Australia. It's like Springsteen, like Springsteen, come help me. Now this is a nice Springsteen. That's something like that. Like you guys like battling the apocalypse, or if you like it, I doubt it could happen like on screen, like you guys fighting the apocalypse and.
All right.
You know.
Okay.
But it could be cool. You know.
Well, let's hang on. Let's assume that me and Milan won the Australian lottery and we were able to fly over to be a part of the movie. What would happen then?
Oh, in that case. Okay, I'm just saying. I was thinking practically for that one. Like it could be like an audio thing. But yeah, if you guys could actually be in the film. Let's see. Well, we know. Would it be like a direct sequel to the Ian and Bobby series, or
maybe not? You've got free reign in this to do what you want.
Well, it'll probably be a movie about reviewing. and you guys would probably be you guys definitely be characters in that. That's obvious, but I mean, like, you would be kind of the newbie of the group. Like, if it was Galaxy Quest, you would be Sam Rockwell. But
Uh,
yeah, that's what you're the kind of the comic relief, but also like the young plucky one in the group.
okay,
And
so
Milan would be like he'd be like the Sam Jackson of the group. I'm not saying he's in Galaxy Quest because that'd be awesome, but I mean I'm just saying like he's like the Sam Jackson. He's like delivering all the cool one-liners and stuff, and like it'd be like speaking Russian, like the yippee-ki-yay, but in Russian. That sort of thing. Something like that. Like he'd be like kind of like a diehard Sam Jackson who wasn't Die Hard 3, but that sort of thing. Kind of, he'd like be the awesome one with all the witty one-liners, and you would be kind of you'd be like the audience's perspective. You'd be like the Tobey Maguire to the Great Gatsby. Not that I'm crazy about that film, just an example. You know?
No, I actually liked that movie.
I mean, I haven't seen it, so I can't passing judge. It didn't look good to me, but that's just my initial reaction. I can't speak for that, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, a film about reviewing, kind of going, like not seriously, because I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't do it, but. And not like the serious idea of trying to pitch for like a Who Reviews the Reviewers film, like exploring. I'm saying like make it fun or like kind of make it a little more that guy with the glasses ish. Just something about reviewing kind of these guys like venturing together as kind of this A team of awesomeness. Like we're the BA team for bad awesome. We review bad movies and we're awesome. Something like that. It's like like the geeky gentleman road trip. Well, make it like a Muppet road trip. That's what you make it like in the style of the original Muppet movie, but also mix in some elements of comedy, like in the Great Muppet Caper, where they're on an adventure. It'd be kind of like that mixed with a twinge of Wild Hogs. Just a Muppet road trip where all these shenanigans take place, kind of like Wild Hogs. Still, just somehow involved reviewing. Well, that's like the through line. These guys going on a journey.
We have to review the new
Godzilla
Star Wars movie before it comes out.
Zazubar says we have to. Oh no, Zazubar got kidnapped by the Godzilla executives because he's saying too much. We have to save him.
Okay. You ready for 23?
Ready for 23. Not the Jim Carrey movie, but the number 23 in this case.
Yeah. Okay. Me, Magpie, is in the third William Stone movie. When do I die?
Second act, moving on.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm saying you want me to actually explain why it's the second act.
Explain why it's actually the second
act. I know you're not going to die in the third act, because, that's basically we're going to focus on the hero in the third act. It was either going to be in the first act as like the teaser kill, or like the second. But I think you'd be more resonant if you were like the second kill. Like, okay, now things are getting intense. He's killing more people, where the monster is, or the first one's kind of write off the first one, but the middle one people remember. So I'm putting you in the second act to be kind of that important kill, the slightly more important kill. So take that for what you will, my deceased friend.
Okay. Let me explain why I asked that question, because I watched it this separate to Blue Dragon 5, the William Stone movie, and everyone bloody dies in that movie, and I was really disappointed in that.
When you say bloody, do you mean actually dies in a bloody fashion, or do you just saying bloody?
A bloody is an Aussie slang thing.
Sure.
It was, yeah. In that case, anyway,
Yep.
And it was like a bloodbath, that movie.
Can I ask you something like an unrelated note about that?
Yeah, sure.
Remember in The Dark Knight when Michael Caine as Alfred, he's stitching up Bruce after he's bitten by the dogs in the first act?
Yeah.
He says when you stitch yourself up, you make such a bloody mess. Is he saying bloody because it's literally a bloody mess, or is that just slang?
That's slang. It's I'm assuming that bloody came over with the convicts.
Yeah.
And in that case, I think he's using British slang.
I don't know, I'm just saying it could be. I know it sounds like it, but it could actually mean a bloody mess. Like, Bruce, you do a horrible job stitching up. Let me do it. I don't know.
That too.
It's just like a funny thing I noticed. Sorry to derail, but Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. 24. Best party you've been to.
I'm not the guy who goes to the parties, Magpie. I'm the guy that throws the parties. And when I say parties, I mean just a gathering of friends and we watch a movie and order pizza. Basically, that's as wild and crazy as I get, because I'm a wild and crazy guy, to quote Saturday Night Live. But, yeah, it's basically, party-wise, the closest thing to actually being at a party, I still kind of orchestrated the event, but it was the closest thing. It's not even real parties. Like, when we saw Dark Knight Rises at midnight, the group I was with, we kind of, like, before we got to the movie, you know, we were, like, waiting for, we were foolishly waiting, because we didn't realize how packed it would be. Like, we were going to get, like, an hour, like, at 10 when the thing starts at midnight. And, we should have gotten there, we should have stood there instantly when we got there. But when we all assembled, but, you know, foolishly, you know, we goofed around for a while, and we got dinner at some place. You know, that was kind of the party, you know, just kind of talking about stuff and being hyped up for the movie. That was fun, but, you know, I guess maybe the Christmas gathering, because there was a nice cake that was made with looked like a Christmas tree on it.
Mm.
So I guess that's kind of closest to parties I would, you know, have.
Okay. Let me
I
say
like controlling my environment.
the best party I went to was a party I mentioned in my interview with Milan. I don't know if that's part of it's up there, but if it is, yay. But yeah, that's the one I'd mention.
You mean the drop
I
bear
mentioned
party?
it. The what?
The drop bear party?
I
Everyone
think
drop bears as hats?
no, no, I don't think that one.
And they're dancing to Nemo randomly?
Yeah,
The fish is swimming! It's like Turbo, you know, the thing of Turbo, like the snail is fast. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
just keep
doing
swimming.
some weird Australian dance. But no, I'm sorry, I'm kidding.
All right. Time for question 25. So we've only got 6 more to go, but they're 6 good ones.
Yes.
They're 6 of the best.
Of the best of the best of the best.
You have a party. Which 6 people in the whole world would you have come? So anybody.
So
anybody.
Okay, let's see. John Lasseter, Seth MacFarlane, Scott Snyder. No, Scott Snyder. It's 6 people, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy. I know I had this thought out previously. Nolan North, and just for the heck of it, Captain Logan.
Okay.
So I guess that.
So I didn't make the list, but okay.
It's nothing personal. I'm just saying if it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, I'm going to get some of these.
Yeah, fair enough.
And Captain Logan's just because I never get to talk to Captain Logan on Skype or anything. He's always busy. Like a miracle exception. Otherwise, I'd have you there, man.
Yeah. All right.
Don't cry yourself to sleep.
Okay, I won't. Okay. What? Okay. Speaking of Cap, what was your first Geekvolution video? So the first Geekvolution video that you watched.
Well, my first introduction, I know my first videos. I'm building towards it. The way I was introduced to Geekvolution was via blows himself up dude Eric. And my favorite video on YouTube to date is, even to this day, it's never going to change. It's the whole Batman film panel series. That's brilliant. That's a brilliant series. I've listened to that.
I
keep begging him, like, you gotta do more. You know, do the 60s Batman, do the animated films, or, like, you know, do other film branches like you were doing, like Superman and stuff. But, yeah, also, I remember Cap was on there. I didn't know who Cap was. I just saw him, like, doing Crisis on Two Earths with Eric, talking about that, reviewing that film. They're still doing that to this day. You know, talking about the original DC animated films. But, you know, when they did that, I really loved Cap. I fell in love with all the reviewers in that, all the Geekvolution affiliated reviewers on that Batman film panel. And then the first video I watched was a Superhero Rewind, and I was in a Batman kick, so I watched Batman '89 Superhero Rewind, which is like I think Kevin Wood's second rewind, I believe.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but I think it's the second, like after Superman Doomsday.
Now, I can't be 100% positive on this, but I was introduced through Trexpert. So the first one I watched was the two-parter they did on the new Trek movie. And while I vehemently disagree with Cap on that in that video, I watched the rest of the Trexpert stuff, and I was like, man, this guy is married to the best woman on the planet because she's into the stuff that he's into, and that's always awesome. If you can find someone that's into the same thing as you, that's awesome.
Let's just take a moment to acknowledge how lucky a man Captain Logan is. He's seriously, I mean this. Captain Logan, nicest guy around. He's got that Uncle Walt vibe about him, as Milan's pointed out previously, and I agree with him. With his videos, he's classy about his videos. It's a rare quality. It seems to has a nice wife, nice as can be. Has a son, good for him. And he has a bat cave in his basement for his home. If that is even the basement. I forget if there's an upstairs that has. The point is, the guy, he's a very lucky man. He's doing he finds time to do these wonderful videos. We will never be ingratiated enough, Captain Logan. Thank you so much for doing such a good job, assuming you're listening to this. Just wanted to bring it up since we're saying how lucky Captain Logan is. And he is.
Yeah, so I watched all the Trexpert stuff, then I think I watched the Superhero Rewind stuff. I reckon I was a subscriber before they hit that infamous 1,000 number, because I'm pretty sure I was on there because I remember that video coming up and not being too thrilled about it, because I was like, oh, I can't enter. I'm sure I was on there. I was a subscriber before that, but not too long before, I would say. So I was probably one of the 900, somewhere in the 900 or 800 mark subscriber.
You know what's funny? I remember Captain Logan's Superhero Rewind on Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker.
Yeah.
I caused that.
Yeah, really? How?
I entered a contest he had for it was a Batman trivia contest. I answered them. And
okay.
That was me, and I don't mean just to sound like I'm taking credit for this. I'm genuinely proud, because it was at that moment after I got past the film panel, and I could have picked. I was going to pick one of two things. I wanted to pick Phantasm, but they already discussed Phantasm. I was going to pick something they haven't discussed. It's kind of, he eventually did do Phantasm. Oh my god, it's so great. And even did commentary on it later on. And I was thinking for a sec doing Dark Knight, but then thankfully I didn't pick Dark Knight because he did such a wonderful review later down the line.
Yeah.
So other than Phantasm, I was thinking, well, what did they not talk about? It was animated Batman. Thinking, well, I could do Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Picked it, and boom, there we go, yay! And it still holds up. It's really good.
I should just point out, in a couple of days, SF Debris is going to do a review of that Return of the Joker. So
really,
I'm curious to see who does a better job. Because SF Debris, I gotta admit, he does a really good reviews. But anyway, let's get back to the party theme here.
You and the party.
Yeah, question 27. Sid Part 2, Milan and me, Magpie, go to a party. What happens?
Well, let's see. Is this a party at the Playboy Mansion by chance?
No, it's just it's a party, and let's make it. It's Sid Part 2's first Australian party. So
Australian party. Oh, the idea I had in my mind wasn't for Australian. It's gonna be very uncomfortably hot down there, isn't it?
Well, if it's somewhere, then yeah, really, it would be.
Yeah. I'm sure he would complain about the heat, as would I. But well, the point is, I guess the idea for parties he'd be there, but how are the women in Australia?
They're like the weather, really hot.
I mean, have like personality wise, like they nutso or what?
I wouldn't. I'd say it would be very hard for Sid to get any down here. It would be very difficult for him. But
Well, the
yeah,
original.
you got a very multicultural type theme down here. So yeah, I'm not saying it would be impossible. I'd just say if it were in my area, it would definitely be hard. Like women are very hard to impress down here. I would have to say.
Yeah, don't worry, they're
So
hard to impress all over the globe, so it's nothing to beat yourself up over.
yeah, well,
But
you
yeah,
got to. It's how Michael Weatherly put it in NCIS. You got to approach him completely differently. So, but
well,
they're not the most refined women in the world. I must say
yeah,
that.
that's what I was afraid of. But the here's what I originally said. I was originally going to say, okay, you guys go to a party. Milan be hitting on all the women. You know, it'd be going well. I guess the accent. Maybe some of them were men also, but that's debatable. He has actually met some feminine looking men.
Mm.
There was some confusion there.
Yeah.
But I'm saying Sid Part 2 he's chatting it up with people. He's just saying, hey, I'm Sid Part 2, that sort of stuff. Milan's hitting up you. You're in the corner. You're making small talk. You're kind of sticking away from the crowd. But later on, then those guys are acting up. Those two are getting into a bit with each other. Kind of. Milan's doing getting all the female. He's getting all the attention because he's Russian. He's got this big bombastic voice. He's probably saying, "I do Jebediah Springsteen." Like a little Henry Kissinger, that sort of stuff. Sid Bart's joining him, saying, "Oh, Milan, would you stop torturing these poor people?" And they're getting into a bit. We're liking that. Then you get over there and you start joining them. Say, "Hey, this is Magpie. Hey, Magpie. He does videos and stuff. Yeah, he's good." You're just joining in a bit. You're really just like first laughing and saying, "Hey, what if you guys did this?" He says, "Oh yeah, right. Well, what if Jebediah Springsteen did this? Oh, that's hilarious." And everyone joining in for a hearty laugh. A good evening's had, optimistically. Maybe you get, well, I forget, you're in a committed relationship right now, but you get some looks. You guys are the life of the party, basically, is what I'm saying would happen. But if it's you and Milan holding this in Australia, it'd be like kind of his first Australian party. You guys would be you guys basically in control. Again, Milan, basically the same thing that happened, only he'd be more in control, I guess. And Sid Part 2 would he'd be kind of like the snarky guy with all the comments. He'd be like I guess he'd be the Green Arrow of the party, despite the fact that he does not like Green Arrow and Ham. I do not like Green Arrow and Ham. I do not like them, Milan. I am. Stupid, I know. Forgive me. But yeah. Something like that. He would just be there observing the madness and observing how the women act and observing. Milan? Why are you dragging me to these things? And you'd just be basically enjoying it and just say, "Oh, this is funny. These two interacting. Look at these two knuckleheads. Why am I?" And when you get home, for both events, you'd be saying, "Why was I not recording that? Stupid, dumb. To quote Freakazoid. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, question 28. Mr. E, you, and me host an episode of Geeky Gentlemen. What is the topic and what would the cast say on the Skype in, speaking of the original cast?
So just to be clear, we're speaking to Sid Part 2, Milan, and Zasbor on the Skype.
On Skype-ins, yeah, on Skype-ins.
So there's
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I guess, I want to say we talk about Batman the Animated Series. I'm trying to think of any other topics. Well, you're familiar with Batman the Animated Series. I guess it's either Batman the Animated Series or something in relation to film. Maybe animated films. No. Maybe it's just it's either film or Batman the Animated Series.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, it's one of those two, and they would Skype him. Milan would just have a joke Skype him at the end. He'd say, like, how do each of you tell a tale from your past? Sid Part 2 would bring, again, kind of that whole philosopher, the madman, and the fanatic. Jasbar
Yeah.
asked something along the lines of what's your favorite. Sid Part 2 would bring, like, an intellectual point we would discuss. And Milan bring, like, saying, like, how would tell a tale from your past in relation to this. And forgive Milan for sounding like George Takei. But still, it was something along those lines. And, maybe we talk about Batman. I would say talk about Batman the animated series. If they never talk about it and they never have me on for it, that would be the time to do it. They'll just talk Batman the animated series for an episode. They would Skype in, say, what did you really gather from Batman the animated series? And, like, how were you introduced to Batman the animated series? And did it involve horrible masochism in any respect or psychosexual behavior in the slightest? Milan, he'd be Skyping in on Milan's Skype and saying, Milan, I'm going to internet slap you on the back of the head if you don't stop. And then Jasmine would Skype into that Skype in. And he'd say, guys, what are you doing? Get off the Skype in. And say, well, he started it. And basically they get into their own argument, then branch off into their own Skype discussion, which you branch into like a special on Geeky Gentleman. Which would be hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. Keeping on with the Geeky Gentleman theme, you are a guest on Geeky Gentleman, the Geeky Gentleman special on Pixar. How long would this episode go for, and what would get discussed?
Okay. No holds bar, I would say genuinely 4 to 5 hours. No holds bar. Okay, no holds bar. I could actually go on for 4 to 5 hours talking about Pixar. Again, because I always my favorite Geeky Gentleman video is the Dark Knight Rises video, and my goal, I guess, would be to dwarf that review. Dwarf how long that review is, they stay on task, and of course I'm accounting for like Milan's deviations, which could be funny. So trying to like not get into Rule 34, which it probably would go in the Rule 34, given that with Milan. But in realistically 2.5 to 3 hours, realistically. I would genuinely really want to do 3 hours talking about, but I'd probably have to sell for 2 to 2.5 hours for the lengthwise. But in regards to what we talk about, again, if it is, assuming like realistically, ideally I want to talk about everything. That's like in no holds bar. I'm going to talk about everything I know about Pixar on this video. But if it's like actual length, I would probably have to condense all the 3 Toy Story films in about 40 minutes. Then I would have to bring up Ratatouille because it's an underrated Pixar film. Still really good. Also, I'd have to get into my defense on Cars 2. Maybe bring up how Katzenberg almost ruins things. Maybe a bit of the rivalry between DreamWorks and Pixar. Branching off from that, just in general, like how we all feel about Pixar, I guess would be the episode.
Okay.
In a nutshell.
All right. Here's something that we haven't talked about, and I must say that this is a question I am not going to know the answer to at all. Best Deadpool story.
That's an easy one. The Gail Simone run of Deadpool. Specifically, that's issues, and hopefully Sid Part 2 and Bobby get around to reviewing this sometime, if Bobby ever returns to the land of the living. And Sid Part 2, if he also gets to the land of the living mentally. I'm kidding, I just mean if he ever, gets around to it, well, he reminds himself of it in his mind. Well, finds the time, because he doesn't have a chronoton capacitor like me. But, it's issue 65 to 69. I'm sure this time it is. It's those 5. After that, Gail Simone wrote this miniseries. It's issues 1 through 15 called Agent X. Basically, Deadpool at the end of the story he goes missing, and this guy kind of takes his place for those 15 books. But still, it feels like a Deadpool book, and he does come back in the end of that arc. But primarily, those 5 issues is those 5 issues are my favorite Deadpool story because it's Deadpool at his most successful. Well, he has like a little office building. He has a secretary, man. And the best story out of those 5 issues is the Rhino story because it's so hilarious yet awesome. You know, it's like basically he's on a job and this couple keeps calling in saying, "Call off the hit." You know, go on with the hit. Call off the hit while he's being chased by Rhino. Like his mission's like to cut off the Rhino's horn. But there's that, and also just overall, I'm going to try to make this brief. I love the Sandy Brandenburg character from this run. Again, it's kind of that Gail Simone, almost Joss Whedon quality of making these strong female characters. Because Sandy Brandenburg, she unfortunately is no longer being used in the Deadpool comics, which I think is a crime because she's my favorite supporting Deadpool character. It's just because she has this, she is a secretary, which in itself is fun. She's a secretary, she's nice, she's sweet. It's like, yes, Mr. Wilson, that sort of stuff. And she's scheduling the appointments. It's like a realistic thing. Just the idea of mercenary as a secretary in itself is funny, but also she's likable. She's, she doesn't put an end to Deadpool's fun. She just kind of points him in the right direction. Okay, you got this job to do. Don't forget that. But also, she'll take a time to, Deadpool's throwing a wild party, saying, "Yeah, it's party, yay." That sort of stuff. Like, Deadpool's like basking in his money. Like, she'll don a swimsuit and they'll, it's like say, "Yeah, money." That's it. She'll take part in the fun, and she does in the Cable and Deadpool series later on a little bit. But at times things can get a little grim for her. She has that serious character. She's a strong character. Like she was in that arc. She's in an abusive relationship with her boyfriend, and there's this good moment where Deadpool, like after that little money party, because for the Rhino job he gets like all this money. He says, "I'm going to call Ricky Martin." He says, it's not Ricky Martin isn't returning your calls, Mr. Wilson. That sort of stuff. And then after he's going to leave for a mission, and he says, "When I get back, we're going to talk about that black guy you've been trying to hide from me all day." And you see this black guy on Sandy, and you feel bad for her. And later on, like after like the 4th issue or something, she's in the hospital because the boyfriend beat her up so badly. And it's real. But then there's this moment where she says to Deadpool, "Don't kill him. I don't want his death on my conscience. I'm not saying you can't beat him up. Just don't kill him." That sort of thing. And it was a good quality. And I think she brought out the best in Deadpool. Just showed again, she kind of reflected what that story was. Deadpool is most successful and at his best. That's just what I think. I wish she would return to that run, Gail Simone.
All right.
That's it in a nutshell. I love those 5 issues so much. They should be
is
coming
that available?
out. Sorry, I was going to mention how it was available.
Yeah.
Well, you can get those 5 issues, but it should be coming out the next Deadpool trade for Classics. Deadpool Classics Volume 9, whenever that comes out, that's when the story should be collected. And I don't know if they're collecting Agent X or not. But that's basically the end of the whole Deadpool run before they get into all this stuff that's already out. So they have to come out with that, which will save me the trouble having to flip through old comic issues. I mean, just one big book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question. Who should send me 31 questions for their month next? So if I was to do this again, if I were to do a 31 questions again with someone else, who should send me those questions, and who do you think could ask me good questions like that again?
And we're also operating under the pretense that they would have a month dedicated to them?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I would say Mr. Fusion.
Okay.
Would be my main go-to. If not, Mr. E, but also, if you could get him, Superhero Enthusiast, but I would start with Mr. Fusion.
Okay.
I'll try to get him, to be honest with you.
Assuming that could be done, we might see about that, because September will be Classic Movie Month.
Ooh!
And joining us will be Mr. Fusion for a few of those. Now we haven't
named after what makes time travel possible. Fuels what makes time travel possible.
Yeah, so he will be joining us again, and we've already agreed to do Casablanca. So that'll probably be the first thing we do. But yeah, so that will be coming up in September. So we may inquire about him sending me some questions for that. So that might be something we could do is a Mr. Fusion month. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. But yeah.
Sounds good.
Anyway, so we've been talking for about an hour and a half here, and that's pretty awesome. So we'll finish it up here, and we will be back later on because we will be recording, assuming that we get. Hopefully, we get to it later on today. Recording up before this.
Hooray!
Yeah, so hopefully we can get we can get up soon. So
we're going up in a blaze of glory.
Yep.
Hooray!
Hooray! Hooray!
What a Calais, one of my favorite Pixar films, short of Toy Story.
All right. So that's it, guys. We will be back, and stay tuned because CFG should be up soon as well.
See ya.
Yay!
Yay!